At London Financial Studies, we focus exclusively on capital markets. Our programs offer practical learning to professionals from all over the world.
On putting together this webinar about correlation, I started to wonder why it is that correlation is such an important subject for equity derivatives. And I think part of that reason is whoever holds equities or buys and sells them does so in a portfolio of equities. And for them, the prime consideration is what is the correlation between those assets. Now, this might also be true in some other asset classes, perhaps even something like credit. But what differentiates equity derivatives is the range of investors who have an interest in this. They could either be institutional investors or retail investors, hedge funds or corporates. And as such, the range of products that you see where correlation is important is very large in the class of equity derivatives. So let's have a look at a motivation about why people might want to think about correlation for equity derivatives. Think about a fund manager who's got a portfolio of assets on which they want to buy an option. Now, they could buy an index option, but if they did so, they'd be taking basis risk between their portfolio and the holdings in the index. A bespoke option, a basket option, would precisely match their liabilities and would be a better bet for them. Or think about an investor who wants global exposure to equity markets, perhaps in a structured products form. So what they could do is use a combination of the S&P, the Euro Stocks, and the Nikkei as a proxy for the world, covering all of the major markets, and have an option on those three underlyings. Alternatively, think about a hedge fund. They believe that index options are expensive relative to options on single stocks. How would they put in on a position to exploit this point of view? And how does correlation play a role in that strategy? Finally, think about a retail structured products provider. What they want to do is to produce a more market appealing product with 100% participation. But situation within the market at the moment means that if they just did this with a regular option, they'd get a lower participation than that. So they want to try and use correlation to build up a product on multiple underlyings and generate a market appealing 100% participation. So let's have a look at correlation and basket options. And I'm going to look at a really simple example. This is a basket on the sum of two assets, which I have equally weighted. Here, I'm going to look at the price histories for these two different assets and give you two different scenarios. The first scenario looks something like this. And the second scenario looks a little bit different in that whenever one asset goes up, it seems quite likely that one of the other assets goes down. And the key question then is, in which case would you pay more for a call option on that basket? On the case on the left or the case on the right?